Hello YouTube, welcome back. My name is Zach and I have some more Summoner's War content for you guys today. Today I'm going to be going over the monsters that I currently have that I use in the game a lot, and then I'm going to go over some really good monsters that are on my wish list. So yeah, that's basically the premise of this video. It's probably going to be pretty short because I'm not one of those people that has like a billion 6-star monsters and it would never end explaining things. I'm just going to go down the line. This is Rena. This is a Water Epikion Priest. This was one of the first 6-star monsters I had, and honestly I don't use her that much anymore. She was okay for mid-game. She's really annoying. I got her a nice resistance rune, and these two runes are just absolutely, like, they're not good. So I could get this Rena up to probably 32k with these runes maxed and stuff like that. But the important thing on this Rena is resistance. Rena, the purpose of Rena is to wall your opponent's team. He's got this skill right here, this passive skill, which for every time a monster gets a critical hit on it, he puts up a shield which is equal to 20% of your max HP. But when you level it up, it gets up to 50% of your max. So you've got a shield that right now is it's got a 14,000 HP shield that you need to get through before you even do any damage to her, which is really annoying, and in Arena will cause your defense towers to hit your monsters more in mid-game, and your defense tower stuff is more important in mid-game than late-game, because late-game you can pretty easily shrug it off with heal. Speaking of heal, Rena has a heal as well, a heal skill as well, which at its max heals 55 and 45% of two monsters' hit points, and it just depends on your allies and which two monsters have the lowest HP. The lowest one gets 55% of their HP back, and the second lowest one gets 45%. So that's a useful skill. But yeah, really, Rena, sometimes I use her in Guild Wars as a tank if I'm going against a win team, but usually I don't use her that much. Julie. Julie is a water joker. Julie is a very offensive monster. I have her runed right now Fatal Blade. This was another one of my very early 6-stars. If I could change this, I would not have her Fatal Blade. I would either have her Despair Blade or Rage Blade, because what those do, Despair gives every one of your attacks a 25% chance of inducing a stun, which basically means your opponent loses their turn, and it gets really annoying. Why that's good for Julie here is because she's got this attack right here. It attacks all enemies, so you have a 25% chance of stunning every enemy, not just one. And there's also this. She has a freezing skill, which at max skill, which I have, is a 100% chance, but there's this resistance stat, and resistance and accuracy go hand in hand. Resistance is how, even with a 100% chance, there's still a 28% chance that Julie will resist this. But accuracy, point for point, offsets resistance. So if the monster that had this had 30% accuracy, the resistance would be completely canceled out, and there is no way that Julie could not be frozen. So accuracy and resistance play a lot of roles in this game. Now, if you notice, my Rena had 100% resistance. That is because Rena's big weakness is those stuns and defense drops, which means the monsters can easily just disrupt her, prevent her from healing herself, and do a lot more damage to her. So the 100% resistance takes that burden away. Now, Julie I use in Guild Wars for an offensive, an offensive powerhouse, but I mainly use her for grinding Paimon Volcano. It's a very good experience and mana farming spot, which will be another video on its own. Moving on to Megan. Megan is a buffer. Megan has a relatively decent speed. I really want it to be higher. You want Megan's speed to be very high so it can use this skill, Spell of Strengthening, which gives all of your monsters a 20% attack boost, a 20% attack bar boost, and then an attack and defense boost for 2 turns. This is very, very good for teams that want to nuke. Nuking is basically just going through your opponent's team as fast as possible. So I use Megan pretty much everywhere. I use her in Trial of Ascension. I don't use her in scenario mode because I just have better things to use there. And I hardly ever play scenario mode for like anything except Paimon. But I use her for Guild Wars. I use her for Arena sometimes. Megan is just all around useful. I use her in Giants and Dragons, believe it or not. Megan's not a very common monster to be used in those, but I use her anyways because I see her true potential. My Megan is running Swift Focus, which gives her extra accuracy and 25% speed. Her runes, we've got a speed right here, we've got an HP right here, and we've got an accuracy right here. HP improves her survivability, and accuracy is mainly for her first 2 skills. Removing a buff, which is this Toad Poison removes a buff with I think 100% chance. So accuracy is very important here because buffs are a big part of this game, and if you can take them away from your opponent, it's great. And this inflicts continuous damage with an 80% chance with max skills. So that's a very good when it comes to Kairos Dungeon, and I will show you that in a later video. Next we have Tyron. Tyron is a monster that I use for something called crowd control. What crowd control is it keeps your opponent's monsters under control. I have her or him ruined Despair Focus with attack, HP, and attack. Ideally, I would love to have this be speed, accuracy, and HP, just because I like the tankier builds, and my Tyron has 66% accuracy, which is not bad, I guess, but it just could be better because Tyron's skills, one it has this hailstorm thing, which 100% automatically freezes the opponent, but it can be resisted. And this cyclone, it hits all enemies, so it can get that stun. The thing about stuns, when you're using Despair runes, is they can't be resisted. So that's a really good thing about having Tyron with Despair. And then this first skill, it has a chance of attacking consecutively, which can be really annoying sometimes. Earlier today I lost an arena match because Tyron attacked my Arnold. He attacked my Arnold 8 times in a row and just one-shotted it. So it was really frustrating. Now next we have Praha. Praha is an extremely rare monster. It's a natural 5-star monster. I actually just got this thing, I just got it last week, which is why it doesn't have any skill ups, because I haven't had any Devilmon to do that. But Praha is a support monster. What Praha does is he heals, and she is a counter for probably the most, I would say, the most powerful monster in this game, and that is her right here, Chloe. Chloe has this skill called Fanatic, which gives the opponent invincibility for 1 turn and immunity for 2 turns. This is a wonderful skill, but Praha has this skill right here, which removes beneficial effects with a 90% chance when all the skills are updated, and turns them into continuous damage. What continuous damage is that for every continuous damage effect, the opponent will lose 5% of their HP per turn. Now, Daydream, right now it recovers 50% of all allies' HP. It goes up to 70% with 2 skill ups, which is really, really good. But she puts herself to sleep. Now, this can be countered a lot of ways. One of them is to use her in tandem with this monster, Delphoy, which has a skill right here, which gives immunity, which means no harmful effects can go on it. That includes sleep. So Praha can use this for free sometime, and the thing about sleep is whenever the monster gets hit, it automatically wakes up and it doesn't lose its turn if it gets woken up like that, which is good. Now, that's all for my water monsters. My first fire monster is Hwahi. She is a fire sky dancer. Hwahi is used for some pretty intense nuking. I use her so much in Guild Wars. Guild Wars, with Seek and Rayok here, I call it Rayok, people call it Raok. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but I use these 3 in a team on Guild Wars together because they are just an unstoppable force of pure annihilation. I have her ruined Violent Blade, which ups her crit rate by 12% and gives her that opportunity for an extra turn. I have her Violent because giving an attacker an extra turn to do a lot of damage is very, very helpful. And she's also got this Amuse skill, which recovers allies. Recovers everybody's HP and gives them an attack buff for 3 turns. And then this Pride will fall. So, say this Pride will fall, it becomes instantly active again, and it does a lot of damage. It randomly attacks the enemies, but if you kill an enemy, you can use the attack again on your next turn. Well, if the Violent Rune goes, we call it procking in this game, you can use this same powerful full attack twice in a row, and that's just like, it's a dream. It's wonderful. So Hwahi, I have her straight attack. Not too good speed, but whatever. This monster right here, this was my first 6-star monster ever. This is Rayak. Now, the interesting thing about Rayak, I have him rune Violent Focus. I have attack, attack, attack. And the interesting thing about this is, I believe I have, oh no, I thought I had a 6-star Violent. Oh, guess where it is, guys? It's right there. I was going to put this on Rayak, but Rayak is, people doubt this monster, and I don't know why, because it's a fantastic monster. He's got this skill, his first skill, so like you don't even need to wait for it to recharge. It attacks consecutively just like Tyran's does, and it's a lot more deadly because this thing, if it gets 4 consecutive attacks, like pretty much anything is losing at least half of its health, like even water monsters that resist it. And imagine that happening twice with violent runes. It's kind of ridiculous. Now Seek. Seek is a monster that, you know, a lot of people don't really think Seek is that good. Seek is a buffer. Oh, Rayak, I use him in everything too. Dungeons, Tower of Ascension, Arena, and Guild Wars. I use him in everything. Seek, he's got this skill, Begin Hunt, which boosts attack power and crit rate of allies for 3 turns. Now, a critical hit works differently. They happen a lot more commonly in this game than Pokemon, and they do probably a little bit less damage than in Pokemon, but if you can power up this crit damage and get the crit rate, the crits hit really, really hard. So it works in tandem with this Lucian right here. I have 179% crit damage on him. With a crit rate buff, 74% of the time it will crit. So I believe with his skill right here, he throws, I believe it's 5 cards. So basically 4 out of 5 of those are gonna get massive, massive damage. But we'll go back to Lucian. Seek is also a very, very hard hitter. I basically only use it in Guild War. I've used it in Arena maybe once or twice. But on to Arnold. Arnold is one of my more recent 6-stars. I don't have too many skill ups on him, which is sad. I really, really want to get this skill up on Extortion. Arnold is a fire tank and a massive damage dealer. I use him in Guild Wars and Arena. I have him runed Violent Energy. I could get some extra substats if I up these, and this rune isn't maxed out. So right now he has 35,000 hit points, almost 36,000, and that's a good thing because this Extortion, it says it steals the equivalent of 30% of your max HP. That's actually how much damage it does as well. So this Arnold, every time it uses Extortion, it hits for about 12k damage, which is ridiculous. Very reliable killer. It really tricks out the AI's healers a lot because they're just like, oh, this monster isn't in danger, but Extortion, he's dead. Very reliable monster in Arena and Guild Wars. So you always run him HP, HP, HP. I would love to have all of these 6-stars because to get an Arnold with 40k HP would be unstoppable. Like, well, not unstoppable, but it's very good. Next, onto the wind monsters. Shimite. I have runed Despair Focus. He is a speed leader that is mostly used for arena. When he's the leader, everybody gets a 24% speed boost, which is really good. But he also serves as crowd control a little bit like Tyron. He's got that same Cyclone thing, and this is a very, very hard-hitting attack that decreases the enemy's speed. Sadly, he does not have the chance of consecutive hit with his first skill, but that's okay. I don't use him as much anymore. I basically only use him in arena because his leader skill only works in the arena. Yeah, Rune Despair Focus, attack. Don't have any 6-star runes on him, but whatever. He was another really early monster that I 6-starred. Next, we have Michelle. Michelle is a lot like Rena, where it's used for support, but it's a different support. Michelle is a reviver. She's got this skill which revives the enemy with 25% HP and lets them recover 15% HP for 2 turns after he's revived, which is really good because when Michelle gets a chance to go again, she can use this to both heal a little bit. The heal doesn't really do that much on this one because it's proportionate to attack power, and I have her like full energy with like no attack. But it gives it an extra turn of recovery, which is good. So I've considered changing Michelle to Violent, but I mean, look at that, 37k HP. Like, this is a wonderful win tank. I use her in Guild Wars for tanking fire teams, while my Julie and Megan can just like clean everything up. Yeah, Michelle. I use her in TOA a lot. Michelle is a very, very crucial part of me beating TOA 80 because she was my win tank, and there's 2 Pernas there. So Perna is an overpowered monster. That's all you guys need to know for now. My final wind monster, we have Lucian. Lucian is a very powerful attacker. I have him runed Rage Blade with attack, and crit damage. I wish I could get this crit damage to be 6-star because that's an extra 15% crit damage on here. So nearing 200%, which is insane. It's awesome. I use Lucian in Giants. I use Lucian in Arena a lot. I use Lucian in Guild Wars, and I use him in Trial of Ascension. I use Lucian for like everything, basically. So yeah, he's got 2 AoE attacks, which actually kind of makes him an okay candidate for Despair runes, but I disagree with that. Another thing I disagree with, people run Arnold Despair because this is AoE. It hits all of their monsters. I strongly disagree with Arnold being Despair. I think it's a waste. But that's a rant for another day. Moving on to my light monsters. Amon. Amon is a light bear man. Amon is a tank. 25k HP. Notice he's got 100% crit rate. There's a reason for this. His attack, his passive ability, Crushing Power, recovers everybody's HP by 20% of Amon's max HP if you get a critical hit. And if you're getting a critical hit every single time, you're going to get HP back. But what's more is I run Violent runes on him, so he can get 2, 3, 4. I even had my Amon attack somebody 5 times today, which was awesome. I've got the full crit rate stuff here. I really want these HP runes to be 6-star because that's more HP. But yeah, Oh, speaking of runes, Praha. This speed rune took me 1.2 million mana to get this thing from from +9 to +15, and that enraged me. But side tangent. Next monster, Belladon. Belladon is a light Inugami, which is the same monster as Rayok. He is mainly used. He's used for a lot of things. Amon is also used for pretty much everything. TOA, Kairos, Guild Wars, Arena, boom, everything. Same for Belladon, used for everything. He has a defense debuff for his first skill, which is awesome. Second skill, removes all beneficial effects on whoever he attacks with 100% chance rate. So accuracy is very important on Belladon. I have 71%. Wish it could be a little bit higher, but whatever. And this Mobilize fills the attack bar, makes your monsters a little bit faster for the turn, and recovers their HP by 50%. Just all around wonderful monster. Darien. Darien is a light vagabond. Darien serves as a tank, kind of. I have this attack rune on him because in my arena defense, I run the previous two monsters, Darien and this next monster here, Veromos, and there's not much attack power in it. So I decided Darien was going to be my attack presence here. Got 2 HP runes here, and Darien's got a decent attack. His attacks, despite his attack stat not being that high, do a lot of damage. So that's why I have that. A lot of people question the offensive Darien, but whatever. Darien's skills. You never use this skill, ever. It does less damage than his first skill, even though it attacks twice, and his first skill gives you a better debuff. This skill gives you an attack debuff. This one gives them a defense debuff. Attacks aren't going to be doing much damage to these guys anyways, and yeah, I've never once wanted to use this attack. But a very good thing about Darien is his passive here. Decreases all damage from allies done. Your allies take 15% less damage, which is fantastic, especially if you're running a defensive team like I do for arena defense. So I use him in my arena defense. I use him in arena offense. I use him in Guild Wars, and very seldom do I use him in Trial of Ascension, but it does happen sometimes. Veromos, the Dark Ifrit. This monster is relatively new, and it is honestly one of the best monsters that's ever been put in this game. It's a fusion monster, so it's very easily obtainable, I guess, kind of. But yeah, this Dark Ifrit, I have runed Violent Focus, emphasis on speed. I think his speed is really lackluster. A lot of people look at the speed and be like, whoa, he's pretty fast, but I'm really disappointed in this speed. I'm okay with his HP, I guess. I want my Veromos to be better, but I can't find the runes. I've got speed, HP. See, I can plus 15 this HP rune, but the thing I really want from it is speed. So yeah. Now my last 6-star, I just made this 6-star yesterday. Vertihil. He is a fire vampire. His purpose is to, oh, by the way, Veromos, used for everything. Everything. There's not one thing you cannot use Veromos in. Seriously. Vertihil. He is used for acceleration, speed acceleration, because he's got this passive which if he gets a critical hit, the attack bars of everybody raises by 20%. Now with his first skill attacks twice, so you can boost your attack bar by 40% there, and this skill gets a plus 30% crit rate bonus. But I mean, I'm 96% crit rate. It kind of bugs me that I don't have 100%, but 4 out of 100 times, whatever. Come on. I mainly use this thing for dragons. I haven't used it much in Guild Wars. I might start using it a little bit more now that it's 6-star. But I have Swift and Blade, HP, crit rate, and speed. Want to get this speed rune maxed because it gives him an extra 10 speed. With Vertihill, some people run him offensive and some people run him defensive, but I went with the defensive because I just like defense in this thing. It gives you more security. But that's it for my 6 stars. I have some 5-star monsters that are a little bit rough right now, but I still use them kind of in Guild Wars a little bit. This first one, Lure, or Lawyer, or whatever. He is a Water Phantom Thief. He is Despair Focus. I'm just going to run through these guys quickly. He's another crowd control monster. This has got a defense debuff on everybody. Very, very useful. This June is a Fire Samurai. I never thought I would be somebody to train this thing up, but he got this new skill, Sword of the Supreme Skywolf, and it's pretty good. So I just decided to raise him one day. He's Rage Blade. Not very good on his runes. See, nothing's maxed out. I haven't worked on him much. But next, Delphoid, another thing that's kind of rough here. Delphoid is used for immunity and with this skill and resetting cooldown. I want a 6-star Delphoid because Delphoid is a wonderful counter to Perna, because it puts a skill on cooldown, and Perna, the Fire Phoenix, does not get to revive anymore, which is fantastic. Orochi is a Wind Ninja. I have him runed Rage Blade, just like June. He's got this skill every time he throws 6 ninja stars. Every time it crits, gets a continuous damage for 1 turn. If all 6 hit, your opponent loses whatever damage they took plus 30%. Like, that's really good. So you want the crit rate to be relatively high. I have 85%, pretty low crit damage, but that is because I run crit rate instead of crit damage on this, because crit rate is much more important with Orochi, and you kind of want accuracy too. I don't have much accuracy, which kind of sucks, but I would rather have accuracy over attack on this this slot right here, but I don't think I have that. No, I just have another attack, so doesn't really help me out. And my final monster is Aquila. Aquila is a Wind Brownie Magician, used in Guild Wars a lot because in case Seek dies, he's got pretty much the exact same skill, except for it's only for 2 turns. And he's got this skill, Unexpected Exposure, which removes all all beneficial effects on all enemies with 100% chance. So that's why I run accuracy on him. Now, his runes are a little bit rough. They're all like okay. I run an accuracy rune. I only got it to plus 12 because that's really all I needed. I wish I could get 100% accuracy without that rune, but I don't think I can, so I put it on there. And then he's got attack and HP. I want this focus rune to be an HP rune, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. So it's got to be a focus rune too, so like the only thing I have is crit damage, whatever. But yeah, guys, I hope this has been informational. Kind of you get the premise of what monsters are all about. I wish I had more monsters I could show you guys, but I'll show off some other monsters that are really good in this game a little bit later. Now, as I said, I was going to do a wish list. I'm going to do a very short wish list. My first monster that I really want is one that we saw, Chloe. Chloe is probably the best monster in this game. What really gets on my nerves, see Chloe right here, it's light. That means I've already gotten it. Earlier when I was playing this game, I fed her to my Rena because I didn't think she was good, and I am kicking myself right in the butt for it, and it's just the worst thing. Another thing I desperately want right now, Hua. This is a Fire Rakshasa. Very wonderful. I'm not hoping to get this, but it would be nice. Perna. Very powerful monster. And he's got this Eternity ability, which lets him revive once every, I believe it's 8 turns when the skills are maxed out. So that's very good. Another thing I want, Tessarian. Ifrit. Fire Ifrit. There's another Ifrit I want too, which is this guy right here, Theomars. I would rather have Theomars than Tessarian right now. I currently have 70 out of 100 pieces to summon one of those Ifrits, so let's pray I get fire or water. Juno would be another thing to have, another really good thing to have. This is a very good passive ability, and it's super annoying. I would love to have Jameer, just because he resets skills, and he's got a really good speed leader skill. Let's see, is there anything? I mean, I can easily get a Bernard. Like, he's one of the most farmable, really good monsters ever, but yeah. On to Light. I have a Light and Dark Scroll. I'm gonna get another one tomorrow. You know, I would really love to see an Iona. Iona is a wonderful monster. But otherwise, pretty much every light and dark monster are really good, but it's just a matter of like what works with my team and what I need, and I don't really need much of these things. This guy right here, Zeratsu, he's probably one of the most overpowered attackers ever. It's ridiculous. If he gets a crit, he gets to attack twice again, with a 50% chance, and he's got this thing which gives him an extra turn, so he can just like demolish anything. It's an absolutely ridiculous monster. Everybody wishes they had one, but freaking nobody has one because it's one of the rarest monsters ever. Hey, ooh, I have a guild war. I'm actually going to end this video and record this guild war. Yeah. See you guys later for another Summoners War episode. It's gonna be a guild war. Spoilers. Bye.